Hi everybody and welcome to this video or this stream. So today, yes, I am on Minecraft, but I am not gonna be playing regular Minecraft. It's gonna be pretty laggy. I know, I'm so sorry. I just found this huge mushroom island and I just thought, oh, it's cute, so I'm gonna stay here for a bit. But today I'm actually, well, okay, firstly, my name is Katrine Kjær and I'm speaking English. I know I am normally a Danish streamer or Danish YouTube channel, but today I will be speaking English. I'm not going to be able to answer questions except if you're going to be a part of the discussion about Good Omens Season 2. So the topic today is Good Omens Season 2. I will briefly talk about season 1, just kind of a resume to go over it so we have it all cleared out. And I'm sorry again that my Minecraft is laggy, it's just gonna be that way. So season 1 starts out with an angel Aziraphale and the demon Crowley. They meet in the Garden of Eden. Crowley is a snake and was a snake that tempted Eve to eat the apple. And Aziraphale is the angel who is guarding the eastern gate of Eden and has his flaming sword. But he gives it away to Eve because she's preggo already. And he felt bad. And Crowley and Aziraphale actually end up meeting on the wall to the Garden of Eden and talk about it. And he's just amused at how can an angel give a flaming sword away to people. It's crazy. And he falls in love immediately. Um, Crowley and Aziraphale are both sent from heaven and hell to Earth to do to spread like discord and harmony. Obviously, the demon Crowley is sent there to spread discord and ferment. And Aziraphale is sent to ferment and spread peace and harmony. And over the years, they end up finding out they're just evening each other out, and sort of just come with this agreement to like let's just stay home and be lazy, cause why not? And Crowley comes with this agreement, so we just stay home, do nothing. And Aziraphale was like no, but end up agreeing anyways because he's lazy too. And over the 6,000 years up till now, they both start to enjoy humanity and Earth pretty much. And Aziraphale gets this bookshop and loves to not sell books but collect books. And Crowley loves his apartment, and his Bentley is kind of his child, and he just loves plants as well. So everything is just great, and they both enjoy the Earth and each other very vigorously. And that's when it all starts to go downhill, because then the Duke of Hell, Hester, comes to Earth and gives Crowley the Antichrist. And when Crowley gets the Antichrist, he already knows, okay, Armageddon is upon us. And he quickly gives satanic nuns this Antichrist and calls Aziraphale immediately. And it's like we gotta prevent this, and they meet up and go for a stroll in the park, and Aziraphale is like, no, I don't want to do this. I can't cooperate with hell, I can't cooperate with a demon, we're on opposite sides. But Crowley ends up what's it called, well, makes Aziraphale realize, well, sure, let's do something. And he does that by saying we can just raise the child together, kind of like godfathers. So Aziraphale tries to teach this child you have to be good, and Crowley's like you have to be bad, and just evening each other out, just like they've always done. But 11 years goes by, and there are 3 days to Armageddon, and they found out God dang it, we have raised the wrong child. So the rest of the story is basically them trying to find the right child, and so does other people, and they do. But his friends, the Antichrist friends, came first and were like, bitch slapped him into thinking straight again, like, no, don't destroy the earth, please don't. And so he doesn't. And it ends up with Aziraphale and Crowley dining at the Ritz and just enjoying each other and Earth like always. So season 2 starts off with them basically being traitors from season 1. Gabriel and Beelzebub doesn't quite like them. They tried to kill them in season 1 but failed because they switched places. So now Crowley is living in his car because he's a traitor, but Aziraphale still lives in his bookshop. And then Gabriel appears. What? He appears naked, and not only naked, but without a memory. So he doesn't know what to do as Aziraphale. He calls Crowley, and Crowley is just as surprised as Aziraphale, but doesn't want a part of it. Gabriel says that he's in danger, but doesn't know why. So that's the only thing they can go off on. Crowley doesn't want to and goes away. Then checks his what's it called? Compensation. Talks to Crowley about news from hell and says, "Oh, Gabriel is missing. Do you know anything about that? And by the way, if you do, we will send extreme sanctions towards the person who hides Gabriel." And so Crowley's like, "Oh, I don't want them to kill my husband." So he goes back to a circle and does his little dance and tries to weaken. Well, he reconsiders and like, I'm sorry, I can help you hide Gabriel. And so they try and do that by hiding him with a half a miracle each. But with that half miracle, they end up making so big of a miracle, it sets off all the alarms in heaven, basically. The miracle is so big that only a supreme archangel could have done that. So they think, okay, Gabriel must be at the Seraphos bookshop. So the archangels come to visit the bookshop, but the miracle worked so well that they couldn't see him. And Aziraphale's excuse for doing a miracle was like, "Oh, I tried to make Nina fall in love with Maggie. Maggie is a girl who lives across the street from Aziraphale and sells Aziraphale records of songs. And Maggie's in love with the girl who owns the coffee shop. Give me coffee, give me dev. Again across the street." And so he says, "Okay, so I tried to make Nina fall in love with Maggie. Did it work?" Yeah, it worked, lied Aziraphale. And that was not good. But they sent Meryl to come visit the next day, and Crowley was like, no, it takes a few days for a miracle to work like that, and humans don't fall in love like that. It takes a few days." And she falls for it, obviously. So she goes away. Well, they go away again, and so that was still weird. But then they hear Jim is his cover name sing a song called Every Day, and Aziraphale goes to Edinburgh. Well, first Aziraphale goes to Maggie and was like, "Hey, have you heard of this song?" "Yeah, I get it all the time from Edinburgh, from this particular pub." And Aziraphale goes to that pub and finds out Gabriel was with another person, but doesn't know who it was, and gets flashbacks from when in 1700 Crowley taught Aziraphale how moral works and right and wrong, and when Crowley tried to prevent someone from dying, which is so sweet. Um, and then he basically comes back with nothing. Meanwhile, he was gone. Crowley tried to make Nina and Maggie fall in love for Aziraphale. His plan was to make a big rainstorm, because apparently when there's a rainstorm, people fall in love. So that's what he tried to do, but it didn't quite work. So if Aziraphale comes back and he's like, "Okay, there was this guy Crowley and Aziraphale met at the pub, that was like, you have to hold this meeting for all the shops here in Soho. And Aziraphale was like, fine, I'll do that. And he uses this to try and make Nina and Maggie fall in love once again by hosting a ball, because his version of people falling in love is having a cotillion ball, and then people fall in love because they're so misunderstood, and then they found out they were not as misunderstood as they thought they were. So they 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 arrange this cotillion ball, and they dance, and it kind of works with Nina and Maggie, and you can just see Aziraphale and Crowley kind of fall in love with each other even more. They even dance too. And Shax has she has made a whole army of demons from hell, because she has found out that Aziraphale is hiding Gabriel, and then the demons come and Crowley takes all the people away, and it's just Nina, Maggie, and Aziraphale left. Uh, and they try everything, but it doesn't really work. And then he uses his halo, and then they all get discorporated except for Shax and them, of course. Crowley, while after he rescued the people, he went to heaven and tried to find out more about Gabriel. He finds out that he can open this. Well, Crowley opened this file only supreme archangels can open. And then he does that and finds out that Gabriel left because he was getting depromoted, because he said nah to Armageddon 2.0, which is very interesting. So now they find out that he said no, but doesn't know why. So he goes back to Earth, and now all the Dukes of Hell and archangels have come back to the bookshop because he used his halo, and are like, okay, we gotta start a war. And no, they're not gonna start a war, says Crowley. No war is gonna begin now, Crowley says. And we all come to find out that all this drama was because Beelzebub and Gabriel were in love with each other from the beginning. And the reason why Gabriel said no to a second coming was because that he just wanted to spend eternity with Beelzebub. So that's what happens, and you can just see Aziraphale being jealous of them. They're leaving and they're happy. The Metatron then appears and take Aziraphale out for a stroll and talk about, you can be the new Supreme Archangel. I can even have Crowley with your side. And he says, sure. Which I don't like. I don't like Metatron at all. He says, sure. And then tries to convince Crowley. But Crowley's like, no, guy. No, dude. You gotta hear this. And, meanwhile, Aziraphale were out with the Metatron to talk about this. Nina and Maggie visited the bookshop again, actually. And talked with Crowley about, you gotta tell him how you feel. And he was like, fine. So they talk about, like, Crowley tells Aziraphale how he really feels about him. And Aziraphale's just like, come with me to heaven. I need you, please. I can make heaven good. And you can be good. And Crowley just takes this complete wrong way and gets heartbroken, of course. And it's just so sad. And then Crowley kisses him and they break up. I've never seen something so sad. But that was basically the resume. So let's go down to the business, to the law. Okay, what did I like about this season then? I love when Crowley prevented this girl from committing the death in season 2. The scene where Aziraphale and Crowley talking about morality. There was this girl who was digging bodies up at the graveyard, and Aziraphale talked to her, and this is a sin, you can't do this. But her reason for doing it was because, oh, they're poor, they live in poverty, they're hungry all the time, they're gonna starve to death, and the guy who buys the bodies use it to prevent cancer. Well, he ends up finding that out later on and finds out, oh, I made a mistake, and only because of Crowley that he found this out. And I love that Crowley was like giving Aziraphale a morality check on all this. And then what's it called? The girl's friend die sadly when trying to dig up another body, and Aziraphale feels so bad for her, and the girl steals some poison, and Crowley notices this and steals the poison and drinks it itself. Like he drinks it himself, and demons get just drunk when they drink poison. So yeah, and Aziraphale's like, no, you'll get a big notice. Well, hell will certainly notice. And yeah, they did notice. But I just love how he was drunk walking around and prevented a girl from committing the death. And then Aziraphale holding him around his waist is just a little detail, but I just love it so much because it's so sweet and filled with love and compassion. So small details. And that was nice. Oh, I also loved when, like, the parallels between season 1 and season 2 with the rainstorms. Season 1 starts out with Crowley and Aziraphale standing on the edge of the Garden of Eden, and then a rainstorm appears, and Aziraphale takes his wing and covers Crowley so he doesn't get wet. And in season 2, it starts exactly the same way, but opposite, where Crowley was an angel too, and there comes this star storm and covers Aziraphale's head with his wing. And a nice detail I loved is Crowley said that the way he makes people fall in love is by having a rainstorm and people gather around, like under these things. And they do that in the beginning of both season 1 and season 2, and it's just so adorable. And how Aziraphale, like the way people fall in love is dancing at cotillion balls, and legit takes Crawley out for a dance at that meeting in Soho. That was so adorable too. It just means they just love each other so deeply, and it's just cute. Another thought I had was there's been a lot of discussion about Crowley being an archangel when he were like before he fell, and I absolutely agree. People can't agree on which angel though. The theory I have found that makes most sense to me is that he's Raphael. Raphael is the angel of love and compassion. And guess what? Crowley cares for love and compassion. He made sure that this girl didn't do the death. He made sure, he tried really hard to make Maggie and Nina fall in love with each other. Who didn't? Well, I know that Aziraphale made the ball where they could dance and talk more, but Crowley made a rainstorm and really were like, okay, boom, we really gotta do this. We really gotta make them fall in love. For Aziraphale, it was just a side quest. And I'm sure he just made the ball for them to dance. He probably didn't even do the ball for them to dance. He wanted Aziraphale and Crowley to dance, not Nina and Maggie. That's my theory. So, yeah. And Crowley legit made Nebula. He created Nebula. Only big archangels could create universes like that. Aziraphale could only be a part of the talking, but not create. So making so big of a miracle that he could create Nebula is such a huge detail, and he could open the book that Muriel couldn't open because only supreme archangels, princes, and some other third thing could open, and Crowley could open it. So that means that either Crowley is a prince or has been a supreme archangel. And I really think that Crowley has been a supreme archangel beside Gabriel. And I kind of love that. in some way, that they have worked together in the past. I love the thought of that. And that's another reason why he doesn't want to become an angel again. He knows what Gabriel did to Aziraphale, burned him in hellfire and he fell. But also saying no to become an angel means that he knows how it were to be a supreme archangel. He knows that Aziraphale doesn't want to become this. Like, he knows it's not healthy for you. You wouldn't like it, kind of way. I've tried it. It just really seems that way, like as if he have experienced it before. And I really think he was a supreme archangel Raphael before he fell. So that's my theory on that. Oh, back to the rainstorm thing. In the poster for season 2, like the earliest poster, is it's a picture of Crowley and Aziraphale standing under an umbrella in rain, and Aziraphale leaning towards Crowley. So that's another detail I noticed very bigly. Yes. Let's go to the theories. Okay, so I've listed the coffee theory, the lie theory, the religious trauma theory, and the shifting bodies theory. I haven't really gone into the depth with the shifting bodies theory because I really don't think that's the one that's the realist. Just watch me. That's what's gonna happen in season 3. Well, I don't think so. But let's start with the coffee theory. That's the first theory the internet got introduced to. So, yes, the coffee theory is about the Metatron when he came in to visit Aziraphale. He came with a coffee. Aziraphale doesn't like coffee. He likes tea, but gives the coffee anyways. And we're like, don't you want to take it? Don't you want to drink it? And Aziraphale is, yeah, should I drink it? Okay. And Aziraphale is like, I don't think there's more to talk about. And it's like, no, fuck off. I don't want to talk to you right now. I just want to be with Crowley, kind of way. But he drinks the coffee and goes out with the Metatron, and you can even see in some of the kind of flashbacks where they talk, he's like, well, can't can't Michael or Uriel become the supreme archangel? And he's like, no, you have to. And then he says, we can even make Crowley become an angel again. And he starts to consider, but he knows that Crowley doesn't want to be an angel. He knows that. He has had this discussion with Crowley so many times. He should know that Crowley doesn't want to become an angel. But when he came back to talk to Crowley, he just seemed so happy. He kind of didn't seem like himself. He was like, Crowley, keep that face right there, that attitude. I got something to tell you. And even stopped Crowley from saying something important, which kinda is him, but at the same time, he wouldn't interfere when Crowley's saying something important. You can even see on Crowley's face how important this is. And he's like, interrupt us. Nah, that's not like him. And then he goes on to say, you can become an angel and we can go off to heaven. And then Crowley kisses him and he doesn't know to commit to the kiss or not. You can see his hand touching his back and at the same time goes on and off. And after he doesn't even say it in a nice way, he says it angry. He's so angry when he says, I forgive you. Like his tone of voice, his face. And then he goes away and his face is just filled with regret. And he's kind of like, but my bookshop, I can't go. And Metatron's like, oh, Muriel will take care of the books. And he's like, okay, good. And then they goes off and you can just see him kind of struggling with, yeah, I should go with you, but I kind of want to stay. But ends up going off and you can just see his face is just angry and sad until he gets into the elevator and he smiles and it's so weird. And I actually really believed in this theory when I first heard it because it does make sense in some way that the Metatron has some kind of manipulation involved with it. Um, but I don't. I, I, I don't think that's the real theory to go off. But it does make a lot of sense. If it ends up being the coffee theory, I would not be surprised. Let's just say it like that. Okay, the next theory, the lie theory, the one I just discovered today. So we see multiple times during this series that in Aziraphale's personal arc, he lies a lot. He ends up lying more and more. When we see him back in the Garden of Eden, he's like, oh, I don't know where the sword is. And when we see him and Crowley talk to the children, well, not the children, when they talk to their parents, and like, yeah, this is not your kids, these are some other kids. Like, he lies to the archangels for the first time, and you also see he lie over Maggie and Nina multiple times, and basically just lies a lot in this season, and I've mentioned it multiple times too when I've talked about what happens in the series, so I won't go over it again. But yeah, he lies a lot in this theory, and the theory is based on that because he has lied so much, maybe he's lying over for the Metatron and Crowley in the end. He heard that there's gonna be a second coming, and he wants to prevent that, but he doesn't want Crowley to get involved. So the best way to make Crowley go away and not follow him is to say, you can become an angel again, and say all these things, because he knows that Crowley doesn't want to become an angel. So he lies and says, oh, you can become an angel, come with me to heaven, please, I need you to restore heaven. No, he doesn't want to do that, and he knows it. And he lies over Metatron. Yeah, I'm totally on board on this second Armageddon thing. I want to become Supreme Archangel. So the theory is basically based on that he's just lying to everybody and wants to try and restore things on his own. But the thing I don't get with this theory is like he would never do that. He would not let Crowley out of this. Why would he try and prevent Armageddon without Crowley? I don't think he would do that. I think he would take Crowley with him and do like they did like before, where Crowley gets his sweatpants on again and have a gold tattoo, try and pretend to be an angel. That's what I think should have happened. So the lie theory, I'm not totally on board with that one too. 5 out of 10. The one I like the most is the religious trauma theory. I've explained this one to all my friends, and they all understand it. So the religious trauma theory is basically that Aziraphale is a child, and heaven is his parents, and like he has been abused by his parents, and his parents have manipulated him and been toxic. And every time a child who has been like out a child who has been abused by his parents, every time they get a bit of praise, they fall for it. They think they're gonna change finally. They are finally gonna change for the better and give me attention and love me. And that's basically what Aziraphale is going through here. Like, the Metatron came with an earthly object to try and win him back. So maybe they're changing to the better, and he can change it with them to be better. Uh, so I just think that's what's going on with the surfer, and the argument is not far apart from the arguments he had in season one. If you pay close attention, I watched both season one and season two in one go, and the argument Surfer and Crowley have in season one is very close to the one in season two. Again, he can't let go of heaven. Like, we're opposite sides, we're not friends. He lets totally go of Crowley and breaks up with Crowley just because of heaven. And I think that's exactly the same that's going on here. except he's more conflicted about it because he loves Crowley more than anything, but he can't let go of heaven. That's why he wants Crowley to come with him to heaven. When Aziraphale says that, oh, nothing lasts forever to Crowley with the bookshop, Crowley takes it as, oh, I'm the bookshop, so we won't last forever. But Aziraphale says it like, no, the bookshop won't last forever, but us will, if you become an angel with me. And Crowley sees that part as like, you want me to change for you. Am I not good enough? Is what he's thinking. Like, come to me, we can be angels, do good. Crowley's like, so you want me to, so I'm not good enough. After all these years, I've tried to be good, and I'm still not good enough. You still want me to become an angel, or else I'm not good enough. That is what Crowley thinks. But what Aziraphale thinks is that, yes, Crowley, you are too good for heaven. Heaven is not good enough for you. But if you become an angel, we can make heaven good enough together. He wants to make heaven better for the both of them to live in, for it to be a healthy environment for them both to love each other. But they just see it in two different ways. Crowley sees it like, you want me to change for you, while Aziraphale says means it like, no, I want heaven to change for us. And I just think it makes more sense. And I think he smiles at the end in the elevator is because he doesn't take the argument as serious as Crowley. After the breakup, my theory is that Crowley will be very heartbroken and very sad, but Aziraphale will just move on pretty quickly because all of the other arguments, even in season one of the serious one, Crowley comes back happily and is like, sorry, I apologize, I was wrong. And I think Aziraphale thinks it the same way this time. So my reason is like, he smiles at the end in the elevator is because he thinks that Crowley will just come back, no worries. But this time is more serious, and he obviously won't do that. I hope he doesn't just do that, because that would be very sad for Crowley if he suddenly goes this deep down. I don't want to see that. Um, so that's the religious trauma theory. He's so deep in with his abusive parents, he just can't let go because he loves heaven. He loves heaven even though heaven has been so shit to him, even tried to kill him. And Crowley, he has no attachment to hell. He just wants to be with Aziraphale. But Aziraphale is just not ready to let go. And I hope in season 3 that is he learns to let go of heaven so he can accept Crowley for them to go off to the sunset together. Now, the last theory, sorry, I'm just rambling so much. The shifting bodies theory. I don't have much to this. I've just read a few comments that people were like, oh, they're shifting bodies. Because you can see that Aziraphale changes personality and smiles at the end in the elevator. That's not Aziraphale. That is Crowley smiling because when they kissed, after they kissed, they shifted bodies. And then Crowley went to heaven. That's why he smiles. And Aziraphale turned off the music because he didn't want to listen to a nightingale saying at Berkeley Square. And I kind of see the argument, and it's also something with a clock in the background is standing still right after they kiss. It doesn't move, so you can kind of see the argument, but at the same time, it would be kind of ridiculous to use it 2 times. Well, if I saw it in season 3, I would not be disappointed. I would be so happy to see them shift bodies again. Like Crowley tries to be a Aziraphale up in heaven and like really try, and and Crowley just being on Earth pretending to be sad. But I just think the religious trauma theory makes a bit more sense because Aziraphale doesn't shift character that much. I think he's acting a lot like himself in the argument actually. And I don't think I'm the only one who thinks that. He acts so much like himself. They're both so stubborn. That's why they go their way. They don't want to discuss it further. Like Aziraphale's like, I'm going to heaven whether you're coming with me or not. And Crowley's like, I'm going to freaking Nebula whether you will go with me or not. And they're like, fine, fine. And they do that both in season 1, 2 times, and in season 2. Like the first argument they had, I know it was more silly, and Crowley came back and did the silly I was wrong dance, but you can't say it's not adding up because it is adding up. Okay, I'm getting a lot off topic again here. So let's talk. That was the theories. Let's talk about the kiss. Okay, I love the kiss so much. Basically, as a big fan, after I watched season 1 for 4 months ago, I had a few things I wanted to see. I wanted to see Aziraphale drive the Bentley. Check. I wanted to see Aziraphale and Crowley dance. They did that, but Crowley had to he had to bicker all the time and speak and argue, and no, I wanted them to be cute and quiet, but they danced anyway, so I can't complain totally. I'm sorry if my voice is so weird right now. I don't know what's going. And we got the kiss, but at what cost? They kissed, and I was so happy. And then Aziraphale had to vomit out the "I forgive you" at the end, and I just hated Aziraphale right after. Aziraphale was my favorite character before, but now Crowley for life. I feel him. I think we've all been through that feeling when you have to confess feelings and then it doesn't go your way. Oh my lord. Ouch. But if I have to go into detail about the kiss, the reason why I love it so much is not because it has to be sexy or hot or romantic. It's neither of those things. It's actually the complete opposite. It's sad and tragic, and Crowley is putting all his tension and feelings into it. He puts with the kiss, he basically says, I love you, Aziraphale. Please stay with me. Please. I need you. This is what you're giving up on. You're giving up on me, is basically what he's saying. And you're giving up on someone who loves you very dearly. And you can see it in the emotion. He has his glasses on, which is also detail and notice. Like after Aziraphale, like, come to heaven with me. And like nothing lasts forever. He puts his glasses on, and the only person he trusts with his glasses off with is Aziraphale. So by putting them on again, it's basically showing that he doesn't trust Aziraphale anymore, which kind of leans up to the coffee theory. Um, and then he kisses Aziraphale with the glasses on. I wish he had taken them off, but he kept them on. Like, I trust you. I don't trust you, but here I'm giving you all. You have a last chance. And then he says, I forgive you. And you can just see every little piece of his heart crumble right then and there and says, don't bother. And it's so tragic because you can also see under the kiss that Aziraphale was just surprised and was struggling uh, with his inner demons. Like, should I go for it? Should I kiss him back? Or should I just not, because he was going back to heaven and he knew that. You can see when Crowley kissed Aziraphale, like, I'm going to back to heaven anyways, no matter what happens here. But Aziraphale didn't know if he should embrace it, what Crowley and Aziraphale had, or just don't. So he did kind of both with the hand. He was touching Crowley's shoulder at one point and not at the other second. It was just so sad and heartbreaking to watch. Uh, and another parallel I found is that Aziraphale, every time he gets surprised by something Crowley says, or after an heated argument, he doesn't know what to say and he just burps out, I forgive you. He does this 2 times in season 1 after the breakup. Like when he said, "Damn you, God." Then he's like, "I forgive you." I won't be forgiven because he's a demon. And then Crowley comes back, "I apologize." And then Aziraphale's like, "I forgive you." How can someone as stupid as you, how can someone as clever as you be so stupid? Again, he says, "I forgive you." And what's it called? Then what's it called? Yeah. And then they kiss here in season 2, and then he's just like, "I forgive you." And I just think it's a reflex. I don't think it's he wanted to say that. You can see he just kind of says it like, "I forgive you." He doesn't really think about what he's actually saying. I don't think so, at least. I think he panics a lot. I would too if it was freaking David Tennant that came up and kissed me. I would panic as well. But yeah, that's basically all I have. But this is a very heartbreaking season. But my thoughts on season 3, I'm actually writing a fanfic right now about what I think is going to happen in season 3. What I hope is going to happen in season 3 is that it's going to we're first going to see Aziraphale and Crowley try to process what's going on. Again, Aziraphale doesn't take it as hard as Crowley. He kind of thinks like, oh, Crowley's just going to come back, so he just works on being an angel, but he kind of misses Crowley, so he has his favorite plant in his office and has his favorite chair from home at his office and just enjoys that. But he doesn't have his books or his music, so he misses that too, other than Crowley. And meanwhile, Crowley, he is alcoholic and is struggling, and the only things he do during the week is buying more alcohol at the liquor store or visiting the bookshop. Not because that he hopes the Aziraphale will be there, but to make sure the mural doesn't F it all up. And then one day, uh, he he meets Muriel, and they talk about like what happened because Muriel watched and kissed, by the way, if you haven't noticed, y'all. And they talk about that, and he miracles that away. And well, Muriel had gone into investigate mode even to try and figure out what love is, but Crowley's like, "Nah, I'm not having this conversation. Miracles, this memory away, boom, never again." And Aziraphale comes and visits the bookshop pretty often to ask Muriel if he has seen Crowley, and he's like, "Yeah," for the first time, but only to like show how the book should be like placed, like, as Aziraphale like it. Um, and then what's it called? Crowley is getting kind of tired of the same routine. That's gone over half a year, um, and he wants to change. So he changes his hair back to like into brown, but he has to color it every day because the red color just comes back in the night, and he uses brown contacts. So he basically looks like a human now, but still with his tattoo and all. And after a while with just that plus the regular routine, he's like, something isn't right with Aziraphale. Maybe I should figure out something and call Gabriel and Beelzebub because Gabriel was a pre-archangel. Maybe he could help. So he calls Gabriel and Beelzebub and tries to find a way, and they figure out the plan that he should go to heaven, pretend to be an angel, and find out what's going on and call them again so they can figure out things in hell and on earth while he tries to figure it out in heaven. So he goes to heaven and pretends like, "Oh, I wanna take me back as Aziraphale," and Aziraphale is like, "Yeah, go, come on back, do the apology dance, and it will be good." Then Crowley is like, "Yeah, I wanna become an angel," and begs to God, "Please don't take my memory away." And his memory doesn't get taken away. Hallelujah. And then he has to try and find out what the second coming is all about. And that's my thoughts on the whole thing. I don't really have any bad thoughts. I was like, do I have any things I didn't like about this? Well, no, I actually really much enjoyed it. I was really afraid that Muriel and Meganina would take up too much of season two, but they didn't. They were like, Nina and Maggie were a side quest, and Muriel was just a fun character to add in to like the Angel universe, and I, I didn't have a complaint about that. It's also nice to have more they them appearances in shows like this, and well, and more just queer representation with Maggie and Nina too. That's also cool. I really love this. I kind of like that Neil Gaiman had just given up on the straight couples. The most straight couple we got was Beelzebub and Gabriel, and because they are immortal entities too, they are also technically they them I think, but I think all the angels and demons are because again immortal entities. Um, so that was actually all. I hope you liked this video. I know it was really long, or the stream. I know it was really long, but I just had so much to discuss and I had to record this. So, but that was all. Bye bye.